In 1953, this man, Kermit Roosevelt Jr., travelled to Iran. Working in secret, he brought down the democratically elected government. That government was led by this man, Mohammed Mossadegh. Kermit's secret mission would alter Iran's future forever. So how did one covert mission unleash such far-reaching consequences? The story goes back to before World War I. Britain then had the biggest empire the world had ever seen, and the world's biggest navy to go with it. But steam power was going out of fashion in favour of oil, and Britain had no oil. The First Lord of the Admiralty, a young Winston Churchill, fixed the problem by getting control of the Anglo-Persian Oil Company. This would guarantee oil for the British Navy. For decades, Britain made enormous profits from the oil. Iran did not. In 1951, Iran elected Mossadegh as their prime minister. He promised to stand up to foreign powers and reclaim the oil. Straight away, he nationalised the oil industry. The British were outraged and plotted to overthrow Mossadegh. But the plot was discovered and the plotters were sent from the country. The British went to President Truman asking for help. He said, "No, your oil is not our problem." In 1953, Truman was replaced by Eisenhower. The new president had promised to be tough on the Soviet Union. This gave the British ideas. All they needed to do was portray Mossadegh as a potential communist. Eisenhower was influenced by the Dulles brothers. John Foster Dulles was Secretary of State and his brother Alan was head of the CIA. They were both obsessed with fighting communism, and they decided that Mossadegh had to go. But it was nonsense. Mossadegh hated communism. After months of planning, CIA agents Kermit Roosevelt Jr. was sent to Iran with large sums of money. Using bribery, propaganda, and by paying for violent riots, he created chaos. The government was overthrown. Mossadegh would be incarcerated for the rest of his life. The USA had replaced an elected prime minister with their preferred dictator, Mohammed Shah. With the Shah in control, some oil money went to Iran and there was relative prosperity. But the Shah's regime became notoriously vicious, torturing and murdering anyone they didn't like. The Shah was seen as a brutal puppet of the USA. Iran was ripe for a revolution. Change came in 1979 and the Shah was overthrown. Tehran descended into violence. Secular forces lost ground to Islamists and the country was transformed. America's coup had replaced democracy by a dictatorship, which was now replaced by theocracy. The Islamic Revolution of 1979 led directly to 8 years of war with Iran and decades of anti-American sentiment. If Roosevelt Jr. and Mossadegh could speak today, what would they say? Roosevelt would probably say that he was doing that good old thing, spreading democracy and freedom. Mossadegh might reply that the West's greed and deception had destroyed a democracy, unleashing endless tragedy and chaos for Iran. Roosevelt went on to enjoy hunting big game in Africa. Mossadegh died in 1967 while still in incarceration. This was History in Bites. Thanks for watching.